Here are some characters from our childhood we want to see in the next Ninja Turtles movie, whether it's in this one that's coming out or the one after that. All right,
here we go.
Ready? Ace Duck.
Yeah.
Who else is gonna fly that blimp and drop egg bombs? It was really kind of a weird thing.
Something kind of miraculous happened a couple seasons into this show, or at least a couple lines into this toy line, where they just said, hey, maybe every animal can be weird and mutated man boy. Well, so they took this guy. He's got these egg bombs. He came with these giant wings that came on, and he was basically like Launchpad McQuack.
Yeah. He was pretty much exactly Launchpad McQuack, actually.
Yeah.
Also, I remember being really into the fact that he had ball-jointed shoulders there, which wasn't common in that toy line. I guess
and just a gun.
Yeah, he had a gun. The accessories were really weird. Like,
yep.
What was his thinking in dropping eggs, and what kind of eggs are those? Are they his eggs? I don't really know. I'd like to see that explored on the big screen.
Yeah, now these are all characters from our childhood. They were in the original Turtles line, all the toys, and a lot of them appeared in the cartoon.
Here's a good one. This is Metalhead. Metalhead is a robot Ninja Turtle. I don't know why. I don't remember why that was the thing. I had the toy, which is great because you hold his weird brain up to the light and his eyes would glow.
Oh, that's right.
And he was all shiny. And here he is doing weird stuff to Splinter.
Now, was he built for good and then he turned evil?
I think he got hijacked by like Bebop and Rocksteady, or he got a virus or something, and then he went crazy and started vacuuming Splinter. Or else Splinter's into that. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on.
But he's in the new cartoon show, so there's a whole other generation of kids who are like, yeah, Metalhead, and he's a little bit chubbier in the new one, but whatever.
Who else we got?
Mondo Gecko,
he was the best.
Again, he's in the new show as well.
Yep.
I liked him because he's just like a gnarly thrasher. Like he's got eat my dust, dudes. They were just like, how do we put Bart Simpson in Ninja Turtles?
Like, if they made flags for decades, like, this dude would be the 90s. This right here. This guy with his skateboard with the skull on it. There's ooze everywhere. He says, eat my dust, dudes. He's got a skull knee pad thing going on and a ripped t-shirt. His tongue's always hanging out and that rat tail thing going on in the back. This guy was great. I don't really know his deal. He was just like...
He was a skateboarding gecko?
Yeah, he was just a party turtle, right?
He's a gecko is not a... Yeah, he's a party lizard.
I know a gecko's not a turtle.
Okay, I don't know.
Explain that to me.
You thought an apparatus meant a body part.
Okay, that's not an animal.
Then, of course, speaking of body parts, Mutagen Man. This is one of my favorites. This is the weirdest character. He was just a big aquarium full of goop and a man with his guts inside the plastic jar body.
Did you have the toy?
I had the toy. The toy was so great because it was basically a bottle that you could fill with little plastic hearts and lungs and stuff, and his eyeballs would float around, and then you fill it with water, and it was like a really messed up snow globe. But it was like, I don't know how my mom would be like, no, you can't play with toy guns, but here's a godless abomination action figure.
It was very weird. I think like when you were in the sort of saccharine beauty of the action figure aisle, which every Toys R Us had, it was sort of like, well, this is safe. It's okay here. He's with the Ninja Turtles. Those are harmless. And it's like, no, this is like a science experiment turned inside out with his guts flowing around.
Ninja Turtles had a lot of really screwed up stuff going on in it. Here's an example.
This guy is awful.
Pizzaface is terrifying. This is like a precursor to McFarlane toys. Like, I think my mom actually shut me down on this one. She's like, I don't want you to have that. And specifically because it's like, he's not an animal, so you're like, what's going on? And you're like, he's got a...
Yeah, he's just a man.
He's
a man with a peg leg, and he got his own pizza on his legs. It's disgusting. First of all, nobody should wear shorts like that. The whole thing's nasty. He's got cockroaches on his shoulder. There was a show, only 80s kids will remember this one, but there was a show on early Nickelodeon called You Can't Do That on Television, and there was a chef on the show named Barf. And he worked at this cheeseburger place, and he was just like, I'm Boff. And he would come out with these disgusting cheeseburgers. And it was so nasty to me to think that like the guy handling your food looks that gross. Then they made a Turtles villain out of him, which is the worst because Turtles love pizza.
Yeah, poor Pizza Face.
Look at that knife.
Scary man. All right, next up, here's one of my personal favorites, the Rat King.
Yeah.
So he's in the new cartoon, but he's like a scary rat wizard.
Yep.
The original Rat King I like because he's just like kind of a crazy homeless man who's like, he has a belt that's a cat in the action figure, but they thought that was too violent for the cartoon, so he just doesn't have a belt.
Oh yeah, he had a dead cat on the toy,
Yeah, he skinned a cat and made a belt. That always upset me as a kid because I liked cats. But
Side note, if you think that's gross, cheat code for Google image search, don't just search Rat King.
Oh yeah.
Search Rat King Ninja Turtles.
A Rat King is a real thing.
It's a real thing, and it's when a whole bunch of rats get stuck with their tails all tied together and then they die.
Yeah. Now finally, here's one. Walkabout. He's basically just Kangaroo Jack. He's a kangaroo man who has he has a hat and he's an Australian kangaroo. Why shouldn't he be in the movies?
Now we haven't done casting ideas yet, but I really want Jason Statham for this guy.
Yes, the not remotely Australian Jason Statham.
I think most American audiences have no idea what the difference is.
I'd like that if they just introduced him as like, this mutant kangaroo, and it's just Jason Statham in like a shirt and jeans, and he's like, yeah.
He's just spray painted orange, and he's
Yeah.
got some hair on him.
That's a good idea. I don't know.
So anyway, Ninja Turtles looks good. I'm excited for it, and bring on the third one with plenty of these disgusting mutants.
Yeah.
You know the weird thing is, they're going to have to eventually.
Oh, completely.
Like, once they get 4 or 5 movies in, we're going to see all these characters.